Okay, back for the next video. So, the only thing I did between last video and this video is I did a little bit of CSS to kind of clean this up and make this this row push down. It's going to wrap onto the next level so that we can just have multiple rows of products here. And then the other thing I did was I added a little bit of logging around these checkbox clicks, especially on the shopping list, so that we can kind of start to work on the Redux part of this shopping list. And what I want to do right now is kind of wire up the uncheck. So the problem is if I click this again, it gets added to the list again right now because there is only one check action, and it's just a click. So we need to figure out if the checkbox has been checked, and then we need to trigger a different action if that's true, and then we need to uncheck the checkbox. Same here. I did figure out how to get the click, and so I can figure out if the checkbox was clicked or if like something else was clicked. So I have some logging here based on the material UI table. There are some events like on cell click. So in the actual code, let's go to the product shopping list. You can add on cell click to the table, and if you do that, you can intercept kind of as a grid which cell has been clicked. And it turns out if you use a checkbox, it shows up as -1 for the column, and then for the row, it shows up as the actual row it is. So the first thing here is the row, and the second one is a checkbox. So I just said if j, which is the column, equals -1, and we could change this to make this a little better, like row column. Say call. If call is checked, then we want to get rid of that one. So let's start this first because I think this will be a little bit easier. What needs to happen is this shopping list component, it needs that action. So remember, we have the connected component as the app itself, and the connected component is the glue between React and Redux. So we need to take this action here, this on product deselect, and we need to pass it down into the shopping list container, which it looks like we already have done, and then we need to call that. So this on product deselect needs to get called by the shopping list. So let's go ahead and do that. The problem here I think we're going to have is that we have an iterator, or sorry, we have an index position, and then we need to translate that into a product. So assuming that these are going to be in the same order, if I click this one, it'll be the second element of that array, and if I click this one, it'll be the 0th element of that array. It should be pretty straightforward, but I can do something like props.on product deselect, and then I can pass in props.products row. So that should work for what we want to do here with the on click. And the next thing that's going to do, it's going to go into the action. So remember the action, it's going to return a deselected action with a type. And then from that point on, it's going to go to the reducer, and the reducer is going to pick up this deselected action. So I'm just going to console log here. Got a deselect. We'll say state action. So I want to select a couple of these, and then I want to click one of these. Oh, we got a major problem here. So on product deselect is not a function. What did we call that again? On product deselect. On product deselect. On product deselect. Shopping list. So that's not good. It looks like it's empty somehow. So we want to kind of log out props here just to figure out what happened. So I'm going to clear the console. I have the console set to preserve. And then I'll check a couple of these. And I'm going to try to click the middle one here. We're going to see what happened. On product deselect is undefined. So what that probably means is that inside of here, this is not named correctly. So if I look at product actions, let's just check that action name. Product deselected. So it should be called product deselected. Looks like it is. So product deselected, product selected, product deselected. Make sure that's there. The other thing we can do is say product actions. Make sure this is getting wired correctly. Product actions on product deselect. On product deselect. I think we have something capitalized somewhere that shouldn't be. On product deselected. Product deselected. Okay, let me just refresh this. Clear this out. So it does look like this function is getting added because that is not undefined. That's an actual function. And then our dispatcher is wired up correctly on product deselected. So the shopping list should actually have that at this point. We'll console log out the props. So we'll see the props as soon as it renders this time. On product deselect is now there. On product deselect. On product deselect. Okay. So that looks fine. Let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, great. So we got a deselect, and then that actually came in there. Everything looks good now. I'm going to remove all these console logs. I don't think we need all of these anymore. So it looked like we are in the reducer now, and we got that reducer. So it said we got a deselect. And now the trick is we need to actually alter this array. So I have the previous state, and the previous state is going to be an array. What I'm going to do is say products equals state.products, and then I'm going to say products.splice index 1, and I'm going to try to find the index position. I'll say const index equals let's think how we're going to do this. So I believe that there is an ES6 function. Yeah, we're going to look. I believe there's an ES6 function for array. I think find returns the value of the first element that specifies. There's something like first. Yep, find index. This is the one that we want. So we want to run find index on the array. So I'll say original products dot find index should be action dot product, because that's going to be, if we call it with a product, I pass it in as product here. So it should be action dot product, and then yeah, find index, it'll return, it's going to return the index position of the first element that satisfies it. So we're just going to do this, and then what I will do here is return the new state, and then because I already copied the products, I'll just put products here. So what I'm doing is saying I got the deselect, I'm copying over the array. So this is a new array that I just put all the same elements into. That's what that spread operator is doing. I've got the products, then I'm finding the index for the product that matched it, and then I'm splicing that out of there. So a splice modifies the array in place, which is why I copied it before I did this. And then finally what I'm going to do is object.assign on this empty object. So we create a new copy of the state, copy the old state, and then copy products in. So this step in both of these right now is kind of pointless because there's only one key in the state, and the only thing we're copying over is products. But in the future, we'll probably put more keys in the state. So there will be more things to the state. For now, though, we'll just do it this way to future-proof it for ourselves. So this is hopefully going to work. Let's give this a try. Product is not defined. Product is not defined. Action.product. Yep, that should be product. All right, so I'm gonna check. Let's see, I check a couple of these. Uncheck. Whoa, blew up. All right, so what happened here? Object is not a function array at find index. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what happened here. So one trick you can just use is actually put a debugger in, and we'll do that. I'll let the debugger catch itself. So got a products, got action.product, products.find index. Let's try and figure out why this didn't work. Back to the sources, pop the console open. So we'll say products.find index. Yep, that's blowing up for some reason. Object is not a function. It has to be a function. Got it. So, right. That's fine. Sorry, I misread that. So you're going to take the product. Then you'll say return product.name. I think we're just going to compare the name because the name, I'm assuming, is going to be unique across all the products. And then if the name for that product equals this product, then it's going to be an equality. We won't do like an object comparison. So let's go ahead and remove this debugger. There we go. Hopefully that was useful to see how to do that debugging. Nice. All right. So it looks like we got a successful test of our system here. So let me make sure. I just can't see these names here very well. Let me make sure I actually remove the correct element. So I want to remove the hype train. Yep, hype train's gone. Remove the Luminaire. remove dequad. All right, good. So that's kind of a finishing up our product selected action here. And then I'm wiring it up to the side here. The other thing we need to do is make sure if you uncheck one of these boxes, it also deselects it. And then the cool thing is you're gonna see this will automatically update. The shopping list will automatically update. So I'm gonna go into the product tile and make sure that in the on click, so this is the on click, I need to figure out if this product is already selected. And then I need to trigger deselect. So one way to do that would be to pass all the properties down and figure out if we have pass all the products down into this property. So I can double check that in the product render. I can do that. I'm gonna call this key something like, let's format this stuff a little bit just since I'm getting a lot of keys on here at this point. I have the props in the product renderer, I believe. So this is, let's trace it down from the beginning. We've got the app, which is everything. And then we've got product grid. It passes products and on product select. And then inside of here, we've got the product grid, and it's passing down all the props to the product renderer and then a list of things to render. And then in the product renderer, it's going to sort everything and then render that sorted array. So I'll pass something called all products to the product tile itself, and this will be props.products. And now the product tile is going to be able to tell if it is selected. So I'll do something like const index equals props.products, and this should never be null or anything. It should only be an empty array if it's uninitialized or there are no products selected. And I'll say find index, and they'll have product, and I'll say return props.product.name equals, and again, triple equals, we're always going to do triple equals in JavaScript, right? If you're doing double equals, you're doing something wrong probably. So if index does not equal -1, that means this is selected, because there should only be one of the product with a name. If there is more than one product with the same name, we might have a problem here. Or we can just change this comparator function to compare multiple properties. It's not a big deal. Then I'm going to return props dot on product deselect props dot product, and then it looks like I need to make sure product deselect is in here, and then notice that I'm returning here so I don't accidentally call this. As soon as I return, I'm out of this function. If I didn't return here, I'd call this and I'd call this, so just make sure you're taking note of that. At this point, we need to make sure that props with the other functions getting passed on here. So I'm going to look at, see, we need them both now. So on product deselect needs to go down in here as well. Oh, that's not good. I think it's called all products, isn't that right? Yeah, I misnamed it. Yep. All right, all products. Here we go. I think we can get rid of that to do. Okay, I think it'll work. Let's give it a try. No, something's broken. All right, on product deselect is not a function. There's one more place we need to pass that. Yeah, on product deselect. On product deselect. So there's another way you can do this. You can just spread out all of the props and pass down every bit of props. I'm not doing that here because I think it's a bad practice to spread out all of the props and just pass down every prop to the component, because I think you want to always explicitly pass the props down. It just makes it so that you can see what's going on a little better. Right. So now I can check boxes here, and I can deselect boxes here. They're still not updating here, so we're gonna have to fix that. But I can at least check and uncheck them here. So the one thing that we're going to want to do is figure out, if I check this, how can I make it so that if I uncheck one of these, the box will also uncheck. So that'll be probably for next video, since I think this video is getting kind of long. But thanks for watching. We'll keep going on the Redux stuff.